Hello, everybody! Welcome to the FilterTime eSpark Truck Series race number 3 of Season 1. We're coming to you live from the virtual Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. I am joined, as always, by my fantastic, dashingly tall, and super great guy, teammate in the booth, J-Mac, Jordan McGraw.
You're trying way too hard to flatter me right now.
I'm trying very hard. But that's not the important thing. We are joined by a very, very special guest, the hottest man on the NASCAR Heat 4 circuit ever, self-proclaimed GOAT, the LeBron James of the eSparks Truck Series himself, Mr. Trackbar 33. Welcome to the booth, Justin. We're glad to have you.
Thank you, Tyler, and thank you, Jordan, for allowing me to be up here in the booth for you guys tonight. I've always wanted to have a different perspective for the races tonight, and it's going to be very interesting to see what these guys do tonight here at the Iowa Speedway.
Absolutely. So we're coming to Iowa Speedway. We're in the trucks. Well, you're not going to be out there, so there's got to be somebody else who wins this race. We've seen you dominate the beginning portions of their Kansas race, their season opener. We also saw you just knock the lights out of them at Gateway last week, winning very handily. So I got to start with you, Track Bar. Who wins this race here at Iowa in your absence?
To be honest with you, that's a real tough one. I've seen a little bit of the practice times, and there's a few guys that come to mind when it comes to key winners for tonight or contenders for the win. Honestly, I'm going to go with Moordog, Samuel Morris. I mean, he's the gem of the draft. Everybody loves him. He won the Cup race at Sunday for eSpark, and, I mean, he's got momentum on his side, so who else to pick? I mean, he's the gem of the draft. That's all I can go with.
I mean, with those sort of accolades, how could you not pick Moordog 5 to win this race? Again, coming off a very, very big victory in the eSpark Cup Series race this past Sunday at Michigan. J-Mac, who's your pick to win tonight?
Well, the fans are my pick. They get to watch probably a pretty randomized field. It's going to be a tight field, going to be tight racing, and there isn't going to be a rabbit out there about half a second faster than everybody. So that's going to be fun to watch to see who amongst these drivers can prevail. Obviously, with drivers like Matt and Sam out there, it's going to be really, really tough. But that gives them a rabbit all their own. But I think they can pull it off.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to the competition we're going to have here. Certainly a lot of exciting young talent coming out here tonight in the Truck Series. Again, a lot of guys, this is their first competitive league experience at this high of a level and high of an expectations. A reminder for everybody, we're running a 50% race tonight. Stages are on, cautions are not. So you got a start point and an end point. Whatever happens in the middle is up to your own devices. For me, I got a lot of people that I could pick for this race, J-Mac. We've seen so many guys be strong in these past 2 races. I mean, you've seen Big Dogs. He's been really strong. I think Creech today might get the job done. I think he's been watching back the tape of the last 2 races, seeing how fast he is on the short run, but how he's been struggling with tire conservation, especially on the longer run. I'd look for Creech in that 33 truck to be very, very strong and have a really good ride tonight. As far as a dark horse pick, I'm going to have to go with Average Joe 2 in the 87. He kind of popped out of nowhere and got a top 10 finish last week at Gateway, which is no small feat. So I really look for him in the 87 to have a strong truck and kind of be my dark horse pick. J-Mac, who do you think your dark horse is that might be flying under the radar tonight?
Well, I'm currently glancing at the leaderboard times from recently, and there's a lot of them, but our boy Super NASCAR fan, he usually loves the strategy. He seems to have a pretty fast lap time up there, so he must have a pretty good truck under him. Maybe one they can pull some speed instead of some strategy. So I'm going to be looking at him to see what he does tonight.
Absolutely. I would keep an eye out for him as well. I'm sure he's got some mix of strategy in the bag for him. And lastly, Mr. Trackbar, who's going to be your dark horse for the evening?
I put a lot of thought into this, and I myself looked at the leaderboard times just like J-Mac and you yourself did, and honestly, I can't go wrong with my boy Crackmaster 99. He had a great showing at Gateway last week, WWT Raceway, and was leading the race until he blew out a right rear tire for his first ever Truck Series start and first ever race in the league. I mean, I can't go wrong with him. I've raced with him several times. He's a pretty fast guy, and I think that he will be very tough on the long run. If we have some long runs tonight,
That is important to note. Super NASCAR fan on the outside pole. That's guy, again, we're watching out for really closely here in that 19 truck. I think he's going to have a very, very, very fast truck tonight. Going to be certainly something to watch. J-Mac, Justin, I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is going to be a fantastic race. And I can't wait to see these guys out on the track. Remember, we had such a fantastic cup race here not but 3 weeks ago. Mr. Track Bar, you had yourself a pretty dandy little hot rod in that race. But we went green. We had one caution. We went green the rest of the way. We had one caution really early and went green. So I hope to see these guys going some hard green flag racing. What's it like, Track Bar? You're the only one of us who's done it in the Truck Series. What's it like to be sitting at the loading screen getting ready to go onto the racetrack?
I mean, it's definitely, like I said, a different and interesting perspective. Unfortunately, I pretty much ain't had the same, like, viewing pleasure after the Cup Series race where I lost connection in the lead with 8 laps to go. But for this perspective, being an announcer with you guys, like, it's going to be very interesting. Like, I'm very interested to see what these guys can do tonight. I think it's going to get really spread out. I think it's going to get really crazy with the long green flag runs and lapping cars and having actual restarts after the end of the stages.
Absolutely. And we've got a green flag out in the air. We see Chrome Capone, the pole sitter, taking off to an early lead heading down into turn number 3. Super NASCAR fan deciding to really run the outside, and that's something we haven't talked about yet, guys. There's so much variety in the lanes you can run here. You've got the bottom, the top. You want to avoid the middle, but if you can actually get your car tight enough in the rear end, you can run that middle pretty well. But we see Super NASCAR fan being really the only guy in the top dozen or so running that top lane. J-Mac, that's kind of an interesting decision, wouldn't you think?
That's a very interesting decision, and another thing to look at here is usually when we race at this track, whether it be in the Cup cars or the Xfinity cars, it's at night. We're in the day right now, as these drivers a little bit slicker out there. It might go into the night as we go on, but right now maybe just a little slicker condition than they're used to than when they normally run at this track. So that's going to be something to watch out for as these drivers' tires fall off and the truck starts to get a little bit slippy.
Yeah, I'm watching. Now, you got to wonder how different setups may be here. Got a wreck in the back. We're going to try and catch up with who's involved in that. This is a great call by the call it the caution clock, the caution bar, maybe the caution bar. I don't see a wreck.
And
I
the
think
27 just got... Well, there was a dust up in the back. As I was flipping through the field, the 27 of Legend Johnson got shoved into the wall. So a few little small incidences around the track right now, but for the most part, keeping it clean and they're staying green. But there is a straggler back there. Let's see if I can get a number on him.
It's actually our man from week 1, MC Winning. He must have been involved in that early crash there. Right now, he's tailing Charlie of this 30 truck field right now. As we go back to our leader, Chrome Capone, he heads off into turn number 1. Should be on around lap 4 or 5 here is the second place truck. That's Go Fast Matt, otherwise known as eSpark Admin. He just sent it sailing off into turn 1, and that car did not stick. He is currently getting passed for the 4th position by Moordog. Moordog serving kind of as our background in-race reporter, giving us all the laps and talking constantly while we're talking. So hopefully you don't hear him in the background, but as we're watching Moordog trying to pick these guys off slowly but surely. Moordog was complaining about his car earlier, saying, you know, I really don't have anything. Track bar hasn't helped me much here, so we have to see how Moordog does. He's not running quite up at the front like he's used to, but he's making his way there, certainly, Track bar.
Oh yeah, Sam's I think he's got a really good short run car right here. He's taking a look on our Crackmaster here for 3rd, but Crackmaster shuts the door on him, and you know, it's going to be a very interesting race for Sam. Like I said, I think he's going to have a really good long run car as well. Like he's always been really good at managing his tires and conserving everything he has and showing it at the end. He's never the one to show his cars really early, and I'm very interested to see what he has here at the end of the run.
Absolutely, definitely. And as we said, Sam, our voice in our head, but we get to hear the passive-aggressive comments he makes in retaliation to Tyler's passive-aggressive comments, so me and Justin get double the viewing pleasure.
Of course. Well, it's all pleasure all around. We're just 4 guys having fun watching a fantastic truck race and the beginning of an awesome, awesome time here at Iowa Speedway. As we see Moordog peeking underneath of that 24 for the 3rd position. That 24 being a new driver this week. Usually it's Mr. Justin Brooks, Mr. Trackbar 33. Today it's Crackmaster. Certainly we get a lot of pleasure out of saying that name as Go Fast Matt gives them the good old sweet chin music there. It's going to be really hard for me to maintain character, Moordog, if you're going to keep saying that on stream. But as I head down into turn number 1, Go Fast Matt and Crackmaster are side by side. J-Mac, you take it away. I got to laugh for a second.
Yep, the top 2 right now pulling out right now. Moordog kind of all by himself on an island in 3rd. The battle is back for 4th. There is a gaggle of trucks trying to take over that position. It's right now eSpark Admin, the admin of eSpark, as his name would suggest. He is leading this group back here in that 4th position, but he's got the 24 truck all up on his rear end. That is the 24 of Crackmaster. The very interesting name to repeat the entire
LeBron
race.
James Jr.
Indeed, Junior. You're LeBron James Jr. LeBron James the 3rd.
I thought he was LeBron James, but either way.
Oh, well, either, yeah.
A great battle shaping up here at the end of the top 5, J-Mac. We're starting to see some early guys breaking away. You've got, of course, the 45 of Chrome Capone. Asylum's in the 16. Running in the 2nd position. Moordog about 4 truck lengths behind him in the 5 truck, followed closely by Go Fast Matt there in the 4th position. Crackmaster running in 5th as we see Super NASCAR Fan getting passed for 6th by the 51, as well as your buddy in the 52, Leafs Justin. He's cracked his way into the top 10 and is starting to come up here. Now, if we're expecting any tire and fuel strategies, we see Moordog hitting pit road. Moordog, is that a scheduled stop? That seems a little early. Strategy.
He said
yeah. Out early. So I found out from Track Bar, because Moordog wouldn't answer my emails back, the pit window here is 16 to 23 laps. And this first stage is about 40 laps, J-Mac. So I expect these guys to probably be more on the lighter side, more towards the 16 side, and pitting and short pitting here for tires. That is very, very critical at this track, having that fresh rubber. So fully expect to see a lot more guys coming in earlier in the spectrum than later, as we see Leafs Justin and Go Fast Matt both coming down pit road early here.
Absolutely. We're already seeing these trucks starting to get a little slippy. That was what was causing the breakaway, as each driver was kind of pulling away from the pack. Some of these trucks already falling off. Not that many laps into a run, so tough conditions out there, fighting a loose condition. Right now, we're in the middle of green flag pit stops, and these drivers who have not come in yet, they're going to get beat for now by these drivers that have already come in. They'll have that fresh rubber. but they're going to have a heck of a benefit here coming to the green flag, or the checkered flag. The green checkered flag, I should say.
Absolutely, and I was a little bit mistaken. The 40-lap run is actually in the final stage, not in this first stage. So that's going to be where the strategy takes part. This will be a one-stopper stage as we got 13 to go. We're keeping an eye right now on Chrome Capone and Asylum in the 16 in second place. You see him kind of falling in line between some lap traffic that just got out of the pits. Leaves Justin right there, catching up to Chrome Capone, wanting to unlap himself. So we're going to stick with these two until they make their stop, and then try to see how they all shake out with the rest of the leaders who have already pitted, presumably, as we see the 45 make the signal. He's going to come onto pit road this time for 4 fresh tires and fuel. The 16 following close behind, both getting onto pit road very, very smoothly. How we looking there on track, Mr. Track Bar? Who are you watching right now?
Currently, I'm taking a ride with Go Fast Matt, just watching him get around the track, trying to make up time here in these fresh new Goodyear Eagles, and just watching him maneuver through all this traffic. The traffic's really got spread out here, especially on the front stretch. The back stretch, everybody is right there on each other, but on the front stretch, everybody's separated by at least 5 to 6 car lengths except this battle right here for turn 2 with Samuel Morris, Dog 5 coming up on the lap. Oh, lap traffic, and they get a little dicey there, them swerving back and forth, but he's trying to make his way through there. I'm watching him now, and hopefully he can make it out to the other side.
Yeah, he is trying to pass the 19 right now of Super NASCAR Fan. Puts a little sweet chin music on him as they head down into turn number 1. Clear sailing for the number 5. I wonder, has Super made his pit stop? Is he trying to make this whole stage on no stop? Because Mordog just blew by him. His engine sounds like it, apparently.
Judging by his speed, that seems to be the case. And you have to wonder if maybe some of these drivers, since this stage is not that long and it is only a one stop, if they came in a little early just to hide your cards a little bit. This is a stage where you don't really want to show everything you got. So you come in a little early, make fool drivers into thinking, oh, they've got you on tire wear, and then in that final stage, catch them by surprise.
Absolutely. I was kind of thinking along the same lines. This is easily one where once you see the pit window, just duck down pit road. You might as well take it and get it. As we see, presumably, what will be a battle for the lead once pit stops shake out, or if somebody goes through a stage without pitting. Chrome Capone sneaks his way right underneath the
nice
5 of Mordog.
move.
Chrome has a very, very strong truck, just making Mordog look like he's laying around out there. Just motors on by him, heads down the front straightaway. Probably about 8 to go in the stage, I would imagine. 7 to go in the stage. Never been a betting man. See the 16 of Asylum, about a turn and a half behind Chrome. He was only probably about 2 seconds behind going into pit stop, so we see Chrome is really laying the gap out. I think he's had the benefit of being able to manage through the lap traffic a little bit. As we see, the 54 is Suave. He spins right in front of the 16. He's up against the outside retaining wall there in turn number 4, but again, no cautions here, so they'll be able to get that truck going. Again, we see Super NASCAR Fan riding a little bit slowly, going down into turn number 3. Right now, your leader, he's just got to make it about 6 more times here. J-Mac, do you think he's going to be able to do this and maybe trap this field mostly a lap down?
That's an absolutely tough ask, but he might be able to stay out there. I don't know if it's going to work out. He's going to lose a lot of track position here before this stage ends. But a call out to Suave. He wrecked, he spun out, and he kept it up against the wall, waited a long time to find a gap to pull down in front of the field and make a safe turnaround, a safe U-turn to get to merge back into the field. So a call out to that 54 truck. Unfortunate, but doing the right thing there.
Absolutely doing the right thing. As we come down, probably to 5 to go here in the stage. Mordog, if Super NASCAR Fan isn't the leader, who is? Chrome is the leader, so Chrome has already unlapped himself. I think Super pitted super early. Yeah, I think he just pitted super early. So kind of the trade-off of not having the tool to be able to check when these guys are pitting. So Chrome Capone easily with the lead over the 5 of Mordog, the 16 of Asylum, and then the 19 of Super NASCAR Fan. We'll go back here and try to get with Super, as we assume that battle will be with him and Matt. But we see a lot of spread out trucks here. I don't see Matt. He's quite a ways back, just going into turn 3 now while Super's at the start-finish. So Matt must have had a rough pit stop, maybe caught speeding. And Choppa in the 51 is your 5th place truck, catching up to the 19 of Super NASCAR Fan. See the 44 of Big Dogs behind him in 6th place. And then I believe Leafs Justin is actually in 7th here, J-Max. So hopefully that kind of finishes out our top 10 here a little bit. Makes a little bit more sense.
And Big Choppa, it seems, started in 9th. So a nice move through the field up there to get into the top 5 in this short stage and this short little sprint that is the stage. So a nice drive by him.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see. Well, you know, with this stage, I think this first stage was probably about 23 or so laps, I would have guessed. 29 laps, so the second stage will be 27. Does somebody try and go, if they can make 23, you know, does somebody try and go that full 27, J-Mac? That'll be interesting. But either way, we get to the end of stage 1. Chrome Capone, your winner at the end of stage 1 in his first FilterTime eSpark Truck Series race. Second will be Mr. Moordog, and third will be Asylum. Fourth goes to that Super NASCAR Fan kid. Looking very strong early on, guys. What do you think here, Mr. Trackbar?
I'm very interested to see what happens here in the pit stops and everything, because you know on this game here we get random pit stops and you could lose 3 to 5 spots, and I'm waiting to see if Chrome's going to come out with a lead, because if he comes out with a lead, I think he's going to check out with the speed he's got. But also if Samuel Morris, Moordog 5, can come out second, I think Moordog can give him a run for his money. It all depends on the luck of the draw here.
Absolutely. That's going to be huge. As they're going through their pit stops now, getting ready for the restart. Mr. Trackbar 33, take him to the green flag, brother. We got one who stayed out.
We got the 44 here. Oh, he cuts down into the bottom. We know he accidentally didn't go down pit road. Crackmaster is here with the lead, and we got the 45 of Chrome Capone and the Ross Chastain Watermelon truck coming for the lead. Cracks up the track. 3 wide for the lead. Here they go down the backstretch. Cracks.
That's a hell of a call.
Capone's out with the lead. We got the 16 of Asylums in second, and I believe that is the 19 of Super NASCAR Fan Mihoy Minoy up in the third.
I cannot believe he did that on live air. Going down into turn number 1, Chrome Capone with the lead, just a slight advantage over the 16, who gets a boot scooting boogie from Super NASCAR Fan. Super can't quite get the front grip to get underneath him, but you see the 5 of Moordog on the pounce. Moordog, Lucky Dog, Chili Dog, it don't matter. He's racing there for 3rd place. I don't know, I was trying to set up a joke there. J-Mac, take it away.
And Super, I think a little bit of contact there. Super sent it in there, almost ran through that truck in front of him, the 16 truck, but he was able to stay off of him. Kind of blew the corner in 1 and 2, split up. That gives the 16 and the 5 the advantage, but Super's going to have that advantage off the top. Let's see if he can motor around, but it looks like the 16 and 5 just a little too strong. Still going to maybe have that position, but this is the race right now. Is the front drivers, or that front car of Chrome Capone? He is checking out on the field, as Trackbar said.
Yeah, this is we're watching it here. I think the high side is a little bit more of an advantage in 1 and 2, J-Mac. It seems like you're really able to get the car wound up and get that straightaway speed as you launch down the back straightaway into turn 3. Kind of with that sharp turn, so it makes it harder for the guy on the bottom. But we're seeing Super really hold his own right here. The 16 of Asylum being really patient as the 24 there of Crackmaster going a lap down here. Probably went down pit road, I would hope, since he forgot. As we see Super NASCAR Fan getting to the wall a little bit. 51's going to get by him. Super's got to just be patient here and get in line, try to get back to the bottom of the racetrack. We know he's got a fast truck. He's just got to be patient, get back to the bottom, as we see Moordog now making a pass for 2nd place. Asylum doors him. Here comes Moordog. No angle into turn number 3. Has to brake really hard. Gets back into the 16 just a little bit. They are just stacking up the field here. Mr. Trackbar, that was incredible.
Yeah, that was incredible, as Kyle Petty was saying. I can confirm that 24 did not pit, and he went down pit road there on lap 2 of that green flag run. Brian Tedeschi was on top of the pit box eating a jelly donut, forgot to call him down for the pit stop, and now he's a lap down. He's trying to make his way through with these fresh tires, trying to catch up to Chrome Capone and a lap himself and put himself back here in the spot to have decent track position here at the end of stage 2.
Yeah, and I just watched the 19 of Super NASCAR Fan boot his way past the 51 to get back up to 4th place. Remember that 24 is the lap down. He's about to unlap himself from Chrome Capone. Mordog running a really defensive line as Asylum looks to the inside. Mordog misses the turn a little bit, hits the apron. Asylum should get a run on him here down the front straightaway. We're starting to see a little rivalry between these two. J-Mac, what do you think?
Some really tough racing for third place. Meanwhile, or for second place, as that car up in between them is a lap car. But wow, this is really fun to watch these two go at it. No saving tires. They're sprinting to the end of this stage. They've still got a stop to make, but it looks like the 5 truck is pulling away, and heard a little voice in my ear, a little self-satisfaction as that 5 car clears the 16 and tries to sail off into the distance.
Yes, and as that happens and Mordog clears for second place, we got a battle for fifth between two of our personal favorites. We got Super NASCAR Fan running in the fifth spot, but Leafs Justin wants it. He's got the preferred lane as they head down off of turn number 4. Justin going to clear himself, just barely takes over that fifth position. Super NASCAR Fan drop him back to sixth. And now we got that 3 truck getting involved. That 3 truck of App Goose, he's starting to make his way into this battle as he's trying to get the 6th position from Super NASCAR Fan here.
Yeah, and as aggressive as all these drivers, you have to wonder, have they been taking care of their tires at all? Because the harder you race each other, the more you rip up that right rear tire. So, or if you're getting in real deep, you might be tearing up that right front. So they might be having a little bit different of a balance issue than they're used to here in the mid to late portion of this run.
Speaking of ripping up the right rear, I just seen Super NASCAR Fan dip down the pit road. He's going out early again like he did in stage 1. I'm very interested to see where he comes out in a tracking relation with Chrome Capone once the pit stops are over.
I think that was a perfect strategy for him, guys, because he was starting to get caught back in traffic, and we know he's got a fast truck. He was just not able to get to the bottom of the racetrack, so why not take a reset, get the fresh rubber on there, run some laps, get back in your rhythm, try to make up some spots and leapfrog these guys, and then make them have to pass you here as we head to stage 2's conclusion. I think that's a good strategy by the 19 truck, so it'll be interesting to see if it really pays dividends for him here.
I absolutely agree. He's stuck there in traffic. Now, whenever he comes up on a truck, he has a severe advantage with those fresh tires, so passing someone shouldn't be an issue, and he won't have to race. He can just run his lap times and make up a little bit of ground here before these guys have to pit. As the 5 truck, he hits pit road.
Yeah, he comes down pit road a little bit late there of a call. Interesting that nobody hit him, but these guys are all very talented race car drivers. No need to do a big signal there. He just makes his way onto pit road as we're trying to get back to our leader here, Chrome Capone. Again, he stays out. He's kind of sitting in the catbird seat. He had a little bit of a distance over the 5 truck of Mordog. I think he can afford to stay out a couple more laps, get that fresh tire advantage for the end of the stage run, give the boot, scoot, and boogie to the 5 truck, and win stage number 2 pretty handily. So we'll have to watch out for Chrome Capone here from the stage's end. We've also got Leafs Justin. He is back there. Looks like he's about in the 3rd position. I'm trying to catch up with him. One thing to also note, the 32 Go Fast Matt, he's been running at the back of this pack all run long, so interesting to see what maybe has occurred with him as this race has unfolded. But we've got a lot of trucks on pit road. Leafs Justin comes down. Big Choppa's in the 51. He was in the top 5. You got Big Dogs, 87 Average Joe, Creech down pit road at the 34. A lot of guys down pit road for service. 4 tires and fuel set them up for a stage 2 finish here.
I'd like to add something on Average Joe. He's been in the pits for a long time. He lagged out or blew a motor or something happened to that 87 truck, but he is out of the race.
Copy that and her. We had one early retiree tonight in the 87 of Average Joe. Tough to see for all you Average Joe fans out there, and I was picking him to actually have a really good run, so I probably jinxed him. But we see our leader, Chrome Capone. He heads down pit road. Track Bar, who you watching on the racetrack, man? Who's making up some ground? Has Super NASCAR Fan been able to make up some ground here?
Yeah, I was just watching him. I just switched it over to Chrome Capone, watching him come down pit road. I just talked to his crew chief. He's coming down for a window tear-off, get a little hole off the windshield from Super NASCAR Fan's truck. Going to get 4 tires of fuel, small air pressure adjustment. He's going to be ready to go. Going to go out there and try to chase a 5, a Mordog 5 down. Because, Mordog pitted, got this fresh Goodyear Eagles, and you
Oh,
know
we got
he's
a
gonna have
crash!
an advantage.
I hate to interrupt you. We got a crash going into turn number 3. The 20 truck turns down and hits the 5 of Mordog. Oh, Mordog is absolutely fuming. The radio is going berserk. It's like Kyle Busch is in the party. It is absolutely insane. The
68 is
5
right off
truck.
of turn number 2.
Oh my goodness, the 5 truck though, he kept it straight. I don't believe there's any damage to the truck. He's able to keep going, but he is absolutely fuming as the 44 of Big Dogs gets to his outside. Mordog is having a catastrophic meltdown here. He's got to tone it down, focus, get back to that 19 of Super NASCAR fan as they head down into turn number 1.
Most of that may or may not have been alive, but you have to wonder if some of these drivers are taking 2 tires and maybe a little bit looser than normal. Maybe that's what's causing some of these guys to lose a little bit of grip, have some issues that we haven't seen. Also, it's very easy when you're racing somebody to get stuck in that middle lane, and so that middle groove has no grip. But we had somebody get knocked down in the infield on the front straight there. That's that 98 Haviland car of somebody.
And the 98 actually, I think that might be the 99 of Air Just Cause. It looked like he was just trying to get out of the way. The 5, the 44, and the 19 were all catching him very quickly. He went to the bottom side of the racetrack there to just try and get out of harm's way as these guys were coming fast and furious. The 5 truck getting by Mordog, the 44 getting by Mordog, though. So we look, and we're hearing that the 32 is our leader, and J-Mac, that might be why he was running at the back. He might be trying to make this on a no-stopper.
He has just hit pit stop, or he's just hit pit road. He's getting service, probably maybe just fuel. It looks like his truck wants to take off, but it's not doing it. There it goes.
And he's gonna come out behind these guys just a little bit. I'm assuming the 44 truck is our leader. I'm not 100% sure, but we know that's the race right now. Oh, Mordog is the leader. The 44 is about to go a lap down. Well, that stinks for Big Dogs, because I thought he had a faster truck than that. Well, Mordog's out there putting the stringent pace down, giving him the old track bar treatment, but Chrome Capone has made his way to second. Assuming there's only a handful of laps here in stage number 2. Chrome is running Mordog down. They're coming to 3 to go. Mordog's got to navigate this lap traffic, but Chrome Capone is definitely going to get the better of him here. And then Super NASCAR fan running in 3rd place, a very respectable 3rd place after making that early pit stop. And Track Bar, I'll let you call here. This what'll be probably a short-lived battle for the lead.
Yeah, I was just looking off of turn 2. The 54 truck, I don't know who's driving Natalie Decker's truck, but they spun it around off the access right off of turn number 2. They finally got it pointed in the right direction. I'm watching Samuel Morris here in the bottom of the yellow line. He's trying to keep the car pinched down. Here comes Chrome Capone looking for a hole. Coming to 2 laps to go. Sam sends it off into turn number 1. Chrome is entered up high to try to cut it down and get a run off of turn 2. He's going to the outside. Oh, we got slow traffic ahead. It's going to be very interesting here coming to the white flag.
Oh, that 5 truck uses the 7 a little bit as a pick, but to no avail as Chrome still gets to the outside of him. Mordog tries to door him to slow him down. That's not going to work. He's going to head down into turn number 1, sails it off in there, washes up the racetrack, hits the 45 again, just beating the left door off of the 45. He knows the 45's a little faster. He's got to try and slow him down how he can. Mordog trying to rough him up. Oh, he's going to door slam him. He's going to slam him into the wall. Oh, no. What a dirty move.
Oh, the 45 is coming after
him.
Oh,
wow.
What a dirty move.
We all know that Dean Mordog stands for side draft. He is so aggressive with that. He was really trying, and he just doored him. He just
J-Mac, that wasn't even. That was not even side draft. That was just a door bang at that point.
Mordog, usually a fan favorite, but he has become a heel tonight as he just stuffed Chrome Capone in the wall, planted him. There is a 45 emblazoned in that wall, and Chrome Capone has got to be steaming.
Absolutely, but we know Chrome has the faster truck. He's proven that. He ran Mordog down handily. Mordog's really struggling out there without your setup there, Track Bar. He's probably got the 2nd fastest truck, so what do you think Sam has to do to this thing to be able to get the win without having to stuff everybody else in the fence to do it?
Well, I think at this point, that's going to be his resort. He's going to pull a Hulk Hogan and turn heel the rest of the night here and just left the smackdown on everybody. And you know, it was very interesting there. I couldn't tell. I knew there was something a little bit different when he came out of the pit road. He was driving just a little bit different. Maybe Carl Edwards hopped inside his truck there whenever they were getting 4 tires and fuel and just put him in a wall like he did to Harvick there a few years ago at Phoenix.
And we're seeing people in the chat starting to get active, cheering for Super NASCAR fans. Sterling Singleton says, Chrome better get him. And you know what? Chrome better get him as we see the 51. There must be Brian Tedeschi must be on a few pit boxes. We've seen a couple guys forget to pit. Brian, put down the donut. Help these guys pit as we go down into turn number 1. J-Mac, you got to make the call because I can't keep a straight face anymore.
Yeah, Mordog leading Chrome Capone. Chrome Capone looking at that 5 car. The 5 might as well be sponsored by Target because he's going to have a big one on that rear bumper. The 45 gets into him. He's trying to get into his head, rattle his cage a little bit. He's going to push him down into the corner a little faster than he wants to, but both of them hold their line, make it through. Now that 52 truck of Leafs Justin, he's the highest he's been all race long. He's up to 3rd. That in 4th place, Super NASCAR fan, my pre-race dark horse, he's in 4th. And a new player in the top 5 here, that's that 88 truck. He has moved into 5th place.
That battle for the lead is just absolutely nuclear here. As we see the 45 give a little bit of a shot to the 5. He's going to clear himself off 2, move Chrome Capone back to the race lead. Getting by the 5 of Mordog didn't rough him up at all. Surprising there, but Chrome taking the high road and showing the pro how it's done. Passing him like it was nothing.
Speaking of roughing them up, I'm looking back here around 10th place with winning in the 98 and 4 tough ARL in the 22. They were just 4 wide a minute ago off of turn number 2, beating and banging like Martinsville style. As we had the 51 truck coming out of the pits here, making it 3 wide with a bunch of trucks in the lead lap.
Yeah, we see that in the back of the pack around the 10th position. Mordog surrendering 2nd place to the Canadian. The Mordog has reported, we're hearing over the radio, controller issues for the 5 truck. You hate to see it. You almost think Karma is in the race and has sprinkled her magic fairy pixie dust all over that 5 truck to get him back from the end of stage 2. Mordog surrendering 2nd place. Looks like Super NASCAR fan looking very strong here to take over the 3rd position from that 5 truck of Mordog. You don't want to be behind him. If his controller's dying, get around him, Super. Pass him. Come on, buddy.
Might want to take a look back here around 6th place.
We hope HD Motorsports is not watching, or else he'd be having PTSD right now.
Super NASCAR fan looking to the inside of Mordog. He's going to take the 3rd position. We see the 24 has worked his way back up there. The 27 is a lap down truck. eSpark admin coming in now. He's going to take over the 5th position. Trying to also go for 4th as the 27, who's a lap down, is passing Mordog. Oh, the 24 gets into the...
a big
there's
wreck
a
in the
big wreck
back.
on the front straightaway. The 98 of McWinning, the 24 there, we were just on that truck as that happened. I think the 24 got a little loose, might have had some help. You hate to see that for Crankmaster. But we keep on trucking here, folks, and we still got a leader who's running away from this thing. That's Chrome Capone.
And that gap stayed pretty solid, though. The 52 truck of Leafs Justin, 24, hanging with him. Both of these drivers pulling away from that gaggle of trucks, racing for 3rd. Right now, the 19 of Super NASCAR fan has that advantage, but the 5 of Mordog, his issue may have gone away. He might not be getting hacked by North Korea right now. He's been able to work his way back up to 4th.
Yeah, he's still working in the 4th position as the 27 is a lap down with fresher tires, tries to clear himself on Mordog. Mordog, having none of it, sends him up in the fence into oblivion. Coming off turn 2, Mordog setting his sights on that 19. He wants to get to him, and I hope he doesn't move him, because all the Super NASCAR fans in the chat, they will go wild if that were to happen.
We have a battle here shaping up for the lead. The 52 truck is closing in. You have to wonder, maybe that 45 saving a little bit, trying to make sure he can split this final stage in half. That 52 of Leaf Justin maybe not worried about it, driving as hard as he can, trying to get that lead. Maybe he sees that lead in a setup race, and he wants to win a setup league race. He's trying, but he just can't quite get to the bumper. Meanwhile, that 19 of of Super NASCAR fan, he has pulled out a pretty good gap here.
Yeah, he is. They have separated themselves. This top three, they have separated themselves from Mordog, probably just wanting to get away. Super getting a little loose there, not wanting to get around that 5 of Mordog. We've seen what he's willing to do for a stage win. What is he willing to do for a race victory, you wonder? But that 52 of Leafs Justin, J-Mac, as you were saying, he's staying right with Chrome. I bet they're just riding a nice pace. We're hearing down from the pit box, you know, we're speaking to Bolt, the crew chief on the 45. That's his setup under that truck. So no wonder it's really blazing fast out here for him. 25 to go here as they're crossing the start-finish line. Brian Tedeschi, whoever's trucks you're working on, you need to wake up the chassis department and get these things a little bit better. They need to catch up to this Bolt chassis that's running up front right now.
Oh, we have a battle for the lead.
What are you
There's a
watching
pass.
right now, Track Bar?
The 52 looking
Oh, there it
underneath
is.
the 45.
I'm watching Mordog 5 looking underneath Super NASCAR fan here. Super lucky, has a really fast short run setup, but he's paying the price here in the long runs to get that speed on the short run. He looks really loose off the corner. Here comes Go Fast Matt, eSpark admin underneath him, looking underneath as well. Still side by side going down the backstretch.
And while you guys were chatting, J-Mac started alluding to it, started saying it, and I cut him off like a jerk. But the 52 took the lead from the 45. But now the 45 looking back to the inside. Chrome with a nice, sexy crossover. This is good quality racing for the lead. Nobody's dooring each other. Nobody's putting each other in the wall. They're giving plenty of room and making it look nice and pretty as that 5 truck continues to fall back from these front 2 competitors here, J-Mac.
The 32 and the 5 driving like they have an anchor out behind them. No, I'm just kidding. It looks like they may actually be closing in just a touch. But that's because those top 2 are racing. The 52 swapped spots with the 45. Again, retakes the lead. They're both driving really hard right now, or they're racing really hard while being conservative. Hopefully that's what they're doing, because they need to make a stop here, and they need to make it with a small enough number of laps that they can make it to the end of the race with a comfortable level of grip.
21 to go. They just crossed 4 there as they head down through 1 and 2, down the back straightaway. Chrome Capone right in tandem with the 52 of Leafs Justin. Leafs Justin kind of coming out of nowhere here in this stage. We knew he had a top 5 truck, but man, I didn't know he had a fast enough truck to get to the lead of this thing. But with him starting that far back, he's made this ground up all without a caution. Just 2 stage breaks to be able to do it. That's really impressive, Track Bar. What do you think the strategy is right here for these 2 guys?
Well, right now, look, there's no strategy going into play. They're really going out here throwing uppercuts at each other, going for the lead right here, side by side, and all they're doing is just playing into the favor of Mordog 5. He's licking his lips. He can smell that pork chop on a string up there. He is running them down, and I honestly expect this to be a 4-car battle, because right behind him is, like I just mentioned a minute ago, Go Fast Matt. He looks pretty solid too, and if the guys keep on doing what they're doing, it's going to be a 4-truck battle for the lead here.
Yeah, as we're watching
just
Super... Yeah, and I was about to say the 19 and the 16 and the 88 all coming down pit road now, so you wonder, is the window open, or do you think these guys are going to have to save a little bit on this next run? It's going to be really interesting to see. We're going to have to keep an eye on the leaders and see what they do here. Looks like the 45 is going to head down pit road this time. Gets a little bit off the apron. Mordog also coming into the pit road. They got to split the 46 of Pop Smurf. Mordog gets to the outside but falls back in line right behind the 45 as they're all congested together heading down pit road. That's a pretty sight. So we're cycling through pit stops here.
I really like that this 52 truck was able to go 1 lap further. That's going to give him just a little bit more speed over the course of this final sprint to the finish, as long as he doesn't make the mistake here. He gets onto pit road really easy, then he tries to make it up. It looked like he gave it a little bit of gas. That's going to hurt him a little bit, but there's still a little bit of time, and he had enough track position at the start of it that shouldn't hurt him too badly, but that might have been just a little bit conservative an entry. Justin, we've seen in previous races, he has cooked it on the pit road and managed to not get a penalty. This time, a little bit more on the conservative side.
Yeah, he absolutely took the conservative approach, but I don't think he lost too much, J-Mac, because we were watching Mordog and Chrome get onto pit road, having to split that lap truck and then having to race each other down the pits. Certainly didn't help them. So we'll have to see as we see Super NASCAR Fan actually gets a slight advantage over Chrome Capone, gets out in front of him. That's how that one lap pressure tires worked out for Super. He was able to get in front of the 45, the 5 of Mordog right behind them, and the 16 truck right behind them as well. So you got these 4 all together in the 52 just coming off of pit road. Is going to be right with these guys. He just really needs to be racing the 45 consciously here. But I think Justin, like you said earlier, is sitting in the catbird seat, J-Mac.
Yeah, but he lost a lot of ground on that pit cycle. That's a pretty decent gap to make up. That 45 and him are pretty equal. That 5 might be the fastest truck amongst all of them on the long run. So I don't know. That might come back to bite him, getting slowed down as early as he did. But he's got his goal out in front of him. He just needs to make it happen.
I want to take a look here off on the turn number 1 here, because if you guys haven't noticed, Go Fast Matt is in the lead now after pitting early. He's got about 2.5 seconds over Chrome Capone, so it's going to be very interesting to see if they can run him down.
Certainly that'll be the battle to watch here, because Matt pitted a couple laps earlier than these guys, so using up that fresh rubber early on in the run, as we're watching kind of just a beautiful battle here between our top 6 competitors. First place, Go Fast Matt out to a pretty strong, sizable lead, but 4 through 6 all together throw a blanket over them. They're all right over there. As you see, the 5 getting to Super NASCAR Fans bumper. Super washes up the track just a little bit, closes the door on Mordog, is going to make him work for it here on the front stretch, blocks him again, takes a little bit of a swing. Mordog cooks it into the turn a little tight, but is able to clear the 19 and set sights for second place, and that 45 of Chrome Capone.
Not gonna lie, I kind of like to see that out of him. Super's kind of gained a reputation as being way too conservative, overly conservative, cartoonishly conservative. Here, he's throwing blocks and racing really aggressive, and that's what he needs to learn how to do.
Yeah, he needs to earn respect on the racetrack and race smart, and when he's got a competitive truck, he's got to fight for that track position. I think that's one thing that we're seeing him really develop, especially here in the Truck Series. It's the perfect place for him to do it, as we see a battle for the 5th position in the background there. You got the 52 leaves Justin trying to pass that 16 of Asylum. 10 to go here. I think Justin might run out of time to use up that extra lap of fresh tires, but nonetheless, still looks like he's going to come away here with a top 5 finish as he sets his sights on 4th place, that 19 of Super NASCAR Fan. But the battle is going to heat up for the lead as they're coming to 9 to go here. Chrome Capone is reining in the 32.
And will Chrome Capone use that bumper? We know that 3rd place truck has no problem using his bumper, his side skirts, every part of his truck to make a move and to hold on to that lead. So, the 5, will he make a move? Will he be in the catbird seat when he's 45, when the 45 and the 32 start racing each other? Or will the 45, once he catch him, will he have such an advantage that he makes it an easy pass? Or does he not have enough time to catch him at all? So that's the battle within the battle right now.
Let's see. The question we'll be asking ourselves for about the next 8 laps here, because we see that 45 is visibly catching the 5 car, also staying right there. He's not that far off. So if these two get entangled, that 5 car is ready there to capitalize, and not to mention the fact, how does lap traffic play into a factor, because we see a gaggle of trucks heading down into turn number 1 right now as our leaders midway down the front straightaway. So certainly going to play a factor as that lap truck, the 27, gets in the preferred groove, getting Mordog out of line there a little bit. The battle right now on the racetrack for 4th place. We'll get to that Super NASCAR Fan and Leafs Justin battling for the 4th place. We'll keep an eye on the battle for the lead as we assume it will heat up here as we're coming to what should be 6 to go. Mr. Trackbar, who do you like? Who do you got your odds on right now?
I mean, I can't go against him. It's Ross Chastain here tonight. Chrome Capone, I mean, he's running Matt down. I mean, the only thing is, everybody knows Matt. Matt wants to win. This is his series. He wants to win in his series. He doesn't want to be the bridesmaid tonight. You know he's going to do whatever he can to win right here. And I expect Matt to be very aggressive with the blocking. So expect to see Chrome Capone give him the chrome bumper and win this race.
Absolutely. As we're talking about aggressive racing, I'm watching this battle for fourth. This battle for fourth is pretty incredible. Super NASCAR fan about to send leaves Justin into the quad oval there in the infield. That was pretty crazy.
Justin's a better man than I am, because I think at this point I would have launched Super into the moon. But the battle for the lead is starting to heat up just a little bit. Chrome Capone is there right on his bumper. There is a truck length difference in between them right now that goes down to a half a truck length. The 45 dives it in there, then backs up the corner. He's diamonding it just a little bit more than the 32.
This is going to play right into Mordog's hands, I'm thinking, as we're, at 3 to go here. They're going down the back straightaway, coming to 2 to go. Just a gaggle of trucks. This is a nightmare. The 51 gets out of the way. That is a perfect move, but...
Not just lap traffic, but ill-handling lap traffic. 2 to go.
2 to go, and the 45 has the preferred groove. If Matt can stay with him side by side and use this lap traffic as a pick, he might be set up for success here, but Chrome, with that fresher tires, is able to clear Matt going down into turn number 3. Matt tries to get back to him, but they're coming to the white flag, and he is not able to. The 22 hits he hits the fence right in front of the leaders. Everybody keeps it straight. They keep it straight going down to the turn. The 68 goes high and tries to stay out of the way, but he's right there with Chrome. Oh,
the 68 racing him. The 68's racing him.
Matt not able to get to the bumper. Chrome Capone with the victory here. His first victory in the FilterTime eSparks Truck Series. Go Fast Matt coming in second. We've got Mordog in third. Looks like Super NASCAR fan was able to hold off for fourth. The 16 of Asylum got fifth. Leaves Justin in the 52. Sixth place there. If somebody could bring in Chrome, I just want to interview the winner. I don't have much time. I got a podcast I got to do in 5 minutes. Red is calling my cell phone every 30 seconds. That was an insane race.
It was quite intense, yes. They catch a group of trucks that are just flying all over the place. No rear grip.
But you know what? They did a fantastic job of getting out of the way for the most part. We saw the 68 race them a little bit on the back straightaway. That was an interesting decision, certainly. But, you know, I got to hand it to those lap trucks, the 34 and the 51. They got out of the way. They didn't race the leaders too hard there. So tip of the cap to those guys, recognizing where they were in the race.
Yeah,
I'm looking
running away from the 52 truck. 52 truck of Leafs Justin just had a few choice words for our Super NASCAR fan. He reached inside his window net, pointed his finger at him a few times, and said, "Next time I'm around you, you're going in the wall."
Oof. So that'll certainly be something to watch here in the coming weeks. We see that that Leafs Justin is usually one to kind of keep his emotions to himself here, J-Mac, but temper's flaring at the end of that race.
Temper's flaring.
That's where we'll have to end
it. we were watching how he was racing, how Super was racing people, blocking the 5 of Mordog able to get around. It seems the